Hey guys, so our macroscopic world is quite predictable, right? At least that's how we see it. I can know when the sun rises, I can also know when the moon comes up. Like, for example, let's take this car. If I can know the speed, let's ask Nitish what is the speed. Nitish, what is the speed?
It's 30 Wahid.
So it is 30 kilometers per hour. So now I know the speed, right? If I know the speed and the time, then I can calculate the distance. That means I can exactly say where this car is going to be after a particular amount of time. So that is how this macroscopic world behaves. It's very accurate and we can do all the measurements. But in the microscopic world, it's quite different and it's very bizarre to understand because we cannot exactly say where a particle is going to be at that particular instant. It's very confusing, right? A particle being in two places at the same time. That is how the microscopic world behaves, or the quantum world. So to understand it in a more mathematical sense, let's go to my lab and figure this out, all these scenarios. So as we have seen in the car, in the macroscopic world, we could predict the velocity, the position after some time. But when you go into the quantum world, it's completely different. All your theories are thrown to a dustbin and nothing works out there. You cannot predict the exact location and the exact velocity at the same time. So our inability to predict the position of the electron, or for that matter any particle, and the momentum of the electron at the same time is known as the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now it was known by that name for the obvious reasons. Well, a German scientist named Werner Heisenberg has proposed this principle. Now there is an uncertainty in the position, right? Well, let's represent it by delta x. Now I'm taking x as the uncertainty in position because we'll first do it in one dimension and then we'll see in all the dimensions, that is the three-dimensional. So if delta x is the uncertainty in the position, well, it means that delta x is a spread where we don't know the exact location of the electron, but we do know that it might be present at one of those locations in that region. Now there is an uncertainty in momentum also, right? So let's represent that by delta p. Now in delta p, it's the spread where the exact momentum of the electron is not known, but it might be present or it can take any of the value between that region. So using this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, let's say we have somehow calculated the exact momentum of the electron. Then what do you think happens to the spread of the momentum, that is delta p? Well, it is obvious. If you decrease the spread, that is, if you narrow down the spread of the momentum, then delta p tends to 0. And when you exactly calculate the momentum, then delta p is equal to 0. So when you substitute that into the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, delta x tends to infinity. Now what physical relation does this give us, or what it means in the physical world? Well, we can understand this through the de Broglie relation that we have learned in the previous videos, which is nothing but lambda is equal to h by p, right? We know the Planck's constant h, and we have calculated the exact momentum of the electron, that is p. So when you just substitute these two values, you get the wavelength of the electron, that is the wavelength of matter. So this wavelength is nothing but the spread or the position of the electron, which is infinite in space. We know that wavelength is infinite, right? It doesn't stop anywhere. It's just the wavelength which continues in the space. So this is that position of the electron. It is not defined at any one point and it can be present at anywhere in the universe. In general, the matter wave is not spread all over the space. Instead, it is spread over a finite region of space. So in this case, our delta x is not infinite, but has some finite value depending upon the extension of the wave packet. Also, you must appreciate that a wave packet of finite extension does not have a single wavelength. It is built up of multiple wavelengths around a central wavelength. Well, if you take this as the wave packet of finite extension, which has multiple wavelengths, then this central wavelength indicates that it has the maximum probability of finding an electron. Did you just see the electron over there? Well, yeah, as I was saying, so this is the maximum probability of finding an electron over this region, and it gradually decreases on both the directions. So yeah, so if there is some spread in delta x, as we have seen previously, then there should be some uncertainty in the momentum, right? That is through the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. But we can also find that through the de Broglie relation. That is, we have said that the wave packet is over a finite region. That means there is some spread over the wavelength, that is delta lambda. So if there is some spread in delta lambda, through de Broglie relation, we can say that there is some spread in the momentum. So both the principles are in sync with each other. So it can be shown that the wave packet description along with de Broglie's relation and the probability interpretation, we can deduce the formula or the principle of the Heisenberg's uncertainty. Alright, now let's solve a problem based on this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Got this electron. So let's assume that this electron is moving with some velocity of 2.05 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second, which is known with a precision of 0.5%. Now we need to find what is the minimum percentage or minimum uncertainty with which we can measure the uncertainty in its position, that is delta x. So let's start the solution. First we need to find the momentum of the electron, which is nothing but mass into velocity, right? Velocity is given to us, that is 2.05 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second, right? And the mass of the electron is not given to us. How do we find it? Well, don't worry, I'll give you the value, but in general in exams, they give you these kind of constants. That is the mass of the electron or the Planck's constant and all such kinds. So if you just multiply mass and velocity, then you get the momentum as 1.87 into 10 to the power of minus 24 kg meter per second. So, but in the question it is given that there is an uncertainty in the measurement of the velocity, right? And that is given in the percentage form. That is 0.5%. Now we all know that momentum is dependent on velocity. It is directly proportional. So if there is some uncertainty in the velocity, there should be some uncertainty in the measurement of the momentum. So we just have to multiply 0.5% to our answer. That is, we have to convert that percentage first. So 0.5 into 1 by 100. And if we just multiply with our answer, then we get the spread in the momentum, that is delta px, as 9.35 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg meter per second. So this is that uncertainty in the measurement of the momentum, that is delta px. But our solution is not yet done. We need to find the measurement uncertainty in its position, that is delta x. So from the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, we know that delta x into delta p is equal to h by 2 pi. So here we know delta px, that is we have already found, and we know the Planck's constant h, that is 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. So if we just substitute all these values, we get delta x as 1.13 into 10 to the power of minus 8 meters, which is nothing but 11 nanometers, where 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. So the measurement uncertainty that we got, that is delta x is equal to 11 nanometers, is about 100 atomic diameters. Can you believe it? If you arrange all the 100 atoms in one single line, then the electron may lie in any one of those atoms, or it may lie in this range. Alright guys, so now that we have learned about the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, let's summarize what we have learned. So the first thing that we have learned is there is some uncertainty in the measurement of the position, that is delta x, and there is also an uncertainty in the measurement of the momentum of the electron, that is delta p. The second thing that we have learned is that the product of the position uncertainty and the momentum uncertainty is equal to h cut, which is nothing but delta x into delta p is equal to h by 2 pi, where h cut is nothing but h by 2 pi. And the third thing that we have learned is that if we are able to calculate the momentum of the electron exactly, then there is no measurement uncertainty in the momentum, that is delta pa is equal to 0. So if delta p equal to 0, then through de Broglie relation we know that the position uncertainty tends to infinity. That means it extends all over the space. Now that we have learned about the de Broglie relation, which tells us about the wave nature of matter, and we have learned about the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which tells us the position and the momentum uncertainty of a quantum particle. But how exactly does a quantum particle exhibit the wave nature? We have never seen it experimentally, right? Well, in the next video, we'll look into this and understand how exactly is this done.